Hey everyone, how's it going tonight? My name's Spencer, and this is Cory, and welcome
Hey,
to Best Ball Draft Addicts. Tonight, we are excited to be continuing along with this Dominate series as we look at players in rounds 11 and 12. We are getting really close to the NFL draft, Cory. A week from today, we're going to be through day 2 of the NFL draft, and we're going to know where a lot of these guys' destinations are going to land. And we can start forming some more solid opinions on these rookies. But it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
me too. I'm so sick of mock drafts. I just cannot look at another mock draft.
I'm sure. Well, you've been in it deep for a long time now.
Too long, too long. Yeah, I'm used to not having to look at anything until end of February, something like that. But then I had to get into it really early, and this is the first top 10 for the Chiefs in a decade. So yes, I'm very, very invested.
Oh man, I know you are. Um, and before we get going tonight, I wanted to let everyone know when the next time we'll dive into this again because we want to get through 18 rounds of players by next weekend. So we're going to go on again on Sunday, and we're going to do an earlier Sunday show. Don't know exactly what time yet, but it'll be Sunday morning/afternoon. So just keep your eyes out for that, and we'll make a post on the day of, and we'll have her scheduled. So, Cory, before we get diving into players tonight, you want to let everyone know who's watching about our, if they haven't seen already, our partnership that we have?
Yeah, of course. We are very proud to partner with Underdog Fantasy. Spencer and I have been playing on Underdog for probably 5 years or so now. One of our favorite best ball sites, and so the lovely people over at Underdog have partnered with us. So if you are a new user, you can either click the link on our Instagram page. It might be on the YouTube page. I don't remember. But you can click that link and it'll populate with the promo code. Otherwise, you can go to underdogfantasy.com, set up your new account, and enter the promo code BBDA. And that'll get you $50 free entries after you play, deposit and play your first $5. So again, love Underdogs, super excited for the partnership, and we appreciate all the support from them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Cash Chad, how's it going, my friend? Glad to
What,
have you back in
Dad?
here tonight with us. He says, wow, 5 years. Glad you got recognized for your long time of service.
Finally. Jeez, we gave him enough of our money, didn't we?
Yeah, no kidding. But I'll tell you this: it's actually, let's see, 2021. I went back and looked. It was 2021 whenever I first started. So
Yep.
21,
Same.
22, 23, 24, 25. So this will be the 6th season of playing here
Yeah.
on Underdog. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right. I'm also very much looking forward to diving into these players tonight because we've got an interesting list of guys to go over. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get that pulled up here and let's take a look at rounds 11 and 12 players. Cory, I made sure that I selected Travis Kelce for the thumbnail image for you. I hope you appreciate
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. When was the last time you could say Travis Kelce around 11 or 12?
that. His second
2014,
second or
15?
third year, yeah.
20, yeah. That was probably 2014.
So these are the players that we're going to be going through tonight. And as always, I'll go ahead and run through the positional breakdown of these rounds. We've got 4 quarterbacks, 2 in each. And again, it's very split. We've been seeing a lot of this here recently. 6 running backs, 3 in each. 8 wide receivers, 4 in each. And 6 tight ends, 3 in each. So there's a lot of different spots that you can go here in these 2 rounds. There's not that many stack pieces as you see, especially compared to some of our previous rounds. Now there is Sam Darnold, Rashid, Shaheed, and if you do grab Sam Darnold and you didn't already have Smith and Jigba, I've been there. I mean, you can also look later at Torrey Horton and Cooper Kupp. That's a fun one. And then with the Commanders, you've got both their running backs, Rachaad and Bill, in these rounds. Now, one thing that we'll see, and as of a week from now, is if they're going to be adding any new partner to that mix.
Yeah.
Because if so, things will drastically change with those
Yes.
2 guys'
We'll
values.
talk about it, but maybe proceed with caution for the next few days.
And then our boy Blake, who's a big Houston Texans fan, he's got the Jayden Higgins and CJ Stroud combo in these rounds, which I'm sure is going to be very popular from these guys. Chad had to go ahead and throw out huge Mike Washington stan. Well, we're going to be talking about him soon, and I've watched some highlights and I have a couple thoughts. So, all right. The first guy up on the list is we have Mr. Josh Downs of the Indianapolis Colts. Josh Downs is very intriguing. I've been into him the last few years, but he has yet to really reach any sort of upside in his game. I think that it's probably more just to his role in the offense. Now, with Pittman gone, is there a chance that he expands? And do you think the best Josh Downs season is still to come, Corey?
Yeah, he should, on paper, absorb the shares that left behind by Michael Pittman. Tyler Warren will too, to be fair. But Alec Pierce is not the same. I mean, he's going to play this exact same role that he did last year, you would assume. I mean, they paid him wide receiver one money, but he's going to keep doing the Alec Pierce thing. So really the opportunity to, I think, for earn target for, to earn those vacated targets is got to be Josh Downs and Tyler Warren. So makes sense that this is where he's being drafted. Yeah,
absolutely. And drafters, they've been agreeing. You see, especially since the Pittman trade, look at this spike upwards in his ADP. So I think everyone is right on board with, with Josh Downs, with Pittman being gone, as a pretty good play for bounce back, I would say, or really a potential breakout.
Who is the back? Do we know who the backup is in Indy? Am I miss? I just, for some reason, I'm blanking on it.
I don't know off the top of my head. It's not Phillip Rivers. So.
Right. It is not.
Let's go see.
Yeah, I don't remember who that was. The only reason I even ask is because, like,
Riley Leonard.
Woof. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, Daniel Jones, obviously, the expectation is going to be back, but so I mean, as long as he stays healthy, I think Josh Downs is a really good play.
So
Anthony Richardson's not there.
I was about to say we forgot about Anthony Richardson. Casual Chad says he was released. I already just put Richardson out of my mind.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to the next one. Are you looking up? All right.
Yeah, I was just,
Anthony Richardson, major bust. Think that much is confirmed.
I was wrong on that one. Hand up.
Now a guy who is not a bust, but one Mr. George Kittle, who is going to go down as a Hall of Fame tight end, much like another future Hall of Fame tight end from this video. But George Kittle, a guy who just honestly, year by year, I'm always wanting to draft George Kittle. Last year, I was all aboard the George Kittle train, thinking that he was going to get supreme targets with some of the vacated guys there, like Debo being gone in San Fran. He did have some really good weeks, but he struggled with injuries. Again, he is older. He's going into age 33 season, but the 49ers believe in him. He's signed. As far as I know, he should be healthy for the start of the season, although I've not seen a lot of news on that. But do you think that with this round, in round 11, that Kittle's going to be a tight end you mix in this year, Corey?
Yeah, I think so. Last year, yes, it was it was too chalky for him to go in like round 4. Everybody just gassed it up to where, like, yeah, you've got the big 2 up front, but George Kittle's the better value in round 4. It was just such a chalky pick from analysts across the whole landscape. And injuries obviously played a big part in it. You'd always could bake in a couple missed games every year just based on his play style. Last year, it happened. I don't remember how many games he missed total, but I know he popped that Achilles in the playoff game. So that's I want to be. It sounds like they're optimistic. I mean, we got to remember these guys are superhuman. So he could be available week 1. It's just Yeah, I was gonna say, how did I not hear that about Anthony Richardson? But yeah, George Kittle, it's just I'm comfortable drafting him there. I think that this is a good spot for him. I'm not sure you could go too tight end with him. I think that would be pretty risky, but I do like the value here.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I'm going to be in on him again, but right now, not so much. I'm in these early drafts. I'm just sort of staying away until I get a little bit more news. That's kind of how I'm going to play it.
Yeah, I just can't see a scenario where his ADP just darts up. Like, I imagine it's probably going to stay around here because it's not like they're going to bring anybody else in that's would make it worse or dump anybody. I mean, I think their receiving room is pretty much set unless Ayuk and them come to some kind of terms or something about him staying. Otherwise, I don't really see this changing much.
And then speaking of his ADP, as you can see, yeah, pretty much just has stayed relatively
drop with
steady.
Mike Evans a little bit, I guess. But yeah.
So yeah. All right. On to the next player. Next up, we've got Malik Willis, who's going to be a polarizing pick and guy that I'm sure is going to be talked about on a lot of podcasts all summer.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about him a lot because he's this guy that whenever you wade into this round and you're looking for your QB2, he's one of the names to click, and he's got some big upside appeal to him because of the rushing. Now, we've not seen him really do a whole lot of much of anything other than the tail end of last season whenever Jordan Love was out. Do you think, Corey, that Malik Willis in this landing spot taking over for Tua is someone that you're going to buy into, or do you think he's going to be too overhyped?
Yes, to all of it. Actually, so I actually really like Malik Willis as a QB2. He's this year's Justin Fields, where the more podcasts or analysts that you listen to, and I'm not dunking on anybody, but everybody seems to have very similar sleepers and trendy picks. And last year, every analyst on the planet that gets paid to do this was telling you, don't draft Josh Allen, wait and get Justin Fields. And they were in love with Justin Fields, and it did not work out. But Malik Willis, he's looked good. It's a small sample size. Obviously in Tennessee, he was awful, but he was not ready to be a starting quarterback. But in Green Bay, having some time to learn and the opportunities he's had, he's looked like a better passer. Now, it's not a high volume passing game, but what I like about it is that Miami basically cleaned house. So if the defense kind of tanks, I mean, they hired, I think, a defensive-minded head coach from Green Bay, but if the defense kind of tanks and he's in some shootouts or, I don't hate that. But so I'm in.
Yeah, I'm going to be in too. He's just going to be a guy that I mix in. I mentioned this before. Will I take him over Shuck? Maybe not. I might go Shuck before him.
I would think I would too.
But he is someone that I'm going to mix in as I fill out rosters.
Chad had a question.
And head
coach is
the head coach the same?
Yeah, so Mike McDaniel is now in LA, and it was the defensive coordinator, name escapes me, defensive coordinator from the Packers, so that was a big reason. So he brought over Malik Willis with him, essentially. Packers.
I think there's definitely something to be said to the fact of whenever you do have the ability as a quarterback who comes in young. And
Jeff Hafley. That's it. But yeah, he was the defensive coordinator in Green Bay and got the job and then immediately they signed Malik Willis.
What I was saying is I do think there is something to be said to the fact that Malik has got to sit behind several good quarterbacks for the last few years. Well, I guess you could say that, but he's got to watch and learn. Tannehill. Yeah, that's why I was I immediately was like, well, has he really? But still, he's got to learn. This is my point. And so now this is a great time for him to be able to show what he can do. And I think that we're going to be in.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up,
I think it's an ADP though. You're going to see rise as there's going to be the first highlight of him chucking a bomb to Malik Washington or something like that. And everybody's just, oh my God, they're going to go nuts. And so get him now while you can. Anyway, Jayden Higgins.
Or just say early. We've got months before that, so we've got a lot of drafting to do before we have to worry about highlights.
Yeah. But it's camp highlights. The second that there's anything, it's going to go out there, and we are going to consume, because that's what we do with the NFL.
Now, Jayden Higgins, rookie wide receiver last year for the Texans, now coming into year 2. He started the year off very slow, finished pretty strong, and he's looking like the legit number 2 wide receiver to Nico Collins. To me, the question with Jayden Higgins is, how much do you believe in Stroud? I think I believe in him enough to mix Jayden Higgins in different teams throughout these rounds. Is Jayden Higgins someone that you're going to be looking at this year?
I'm with you 100%. I agree. Stroud is just doesn't seem to be the guy that we thought he was in his rookie year. But yeah, I think Higgins is a great number 2 to Nico, especially Nico's going to draw more attention. So especially in this format in best ball, I think Jayden Higgins is a really nice buy right here.
Yeah, and again, do you really see the Texans going out and bringing in any other wide receivers? I don't think so.
They drafted, I mean, they have Tank Dell that should be coming back, but then they also drafted Noel and Higgins last year. And I want to say they brought in somebody else. I'll look, but yeah, well, I can't imagine
Tank Dell is an interesting one that I could see that potentially eating into Higgins' value. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't thinking of that just a minute ago. So it is a good point to bring up Tank Dell. And you see Higgins, he stayed pretty steady. He did have a little dip there for a while, but then kind of has raised right back up to where he was before.
Oh, yeah. So Justin Watson's still there with Lowell's. Xavier Hutchinson. Then for some reason I thought they brought someone in, but I guess not.
No, and Christian Kirk is gone. He's now with San Fran. So that's one less guy.
Yep.
All right. Another new face in a new place, and that's Mr. Rachaad White, who's gone to the Commanders. Now, I've been a Rachaad White fan for these last few years. I think he's an exciting PPR back, but here on Underdog, it's half-point PPR, and most of his value does come from reception, so he does have a capped upside. With that said, as of the moment as we speak, he could get a bigger role in the offense if they don't go out and get Jeremiah Love. So he could have a better season this year with the Commanders than anything we've seen in the last couple of years with the Bucs, unless Jeremiah Love's there, and then that's pretty much crushes those dreams. But as of this moment right now, I'm into drafting Rachaad White here. What about you?
Yeah, I think now's probably a good time. If it's one way or the other. I think now isn't a bad time as far as like his ADP. If they do draft Love, then I still think Rachaad White has a little standalone value in best ball. So I think you can still justify this pick if they don't address the running back at all and are planning to go with Rachaad White, Bill, and what's his face? Not Chris Rodriguez. He's gone, but I don't know if McNichols or whomever is still there. But if Rachaad White's going to be it's going to be a shared backfield. Rachaad White's not a 3-down back, but I think, yeah, if he's going to be the 1A in a committee, then it's a great ADP right here. It's what should be a much improved offense.
Yep. And let's take a look at what Rashaad's ADP has done.
You've always been a Rachaad White guy.
I have. That's what I'm saying. Like I've been into him pretty much his whole career, and he's not done a whole lot, right? I mean, he really hasn't.
He's flashed here and there.
But he's flashed here and there, right?
Well, he got a lot of opportunity last year with Bucky out, and he was solid.
He was good. That was early in the year. He did have a couple really good weeks while Bucky was out. But then I mean, that was only a couple of weeks from my memory, and then Bucky came back. He's had a really nice rise throughout this draft season, especially with the big spike, of course, with going to Washington.
Yeah, I still think he has standalone value, even if Love is drafted.
Next up, Khalil Shakir of the Buffalo Bills. Now, much like I was just saying with Rachaad White, Khalil Shakir's main value comes from catches, from his PPR. Now, again, with half-point PPR, he does not get a lot of touchdowns, and that's probably not going to change. And he's going to get most likely less passes than he has or targets coming his way because of DJ Moore's signing. Now, if they cut Keon Coleman, whatever. I mean, Keon Coleman basically hasn't done anything anyway. But my point with Khalil Shakir is he is kind of a yawn guy. He's not someone that I see that can really make a huge difference. He could help get you there, right? He's just a floor guy that maybe can help get you team to advance, to fill in some weeks, but he's not going to drive you forward and really make a difference in your score. So overall, I'm not going to be looking at him too much in this range. I would need him to fall a few more runs.
I actually have been a Khalil Shakir guy for the last couple of years because I know.
Oh, I have before too.
Like going into it, I knew the way that they addressed their wide receiver room these last couple of years, my expectation was Khalil Shakir still the number one receiver there. Keon Coleman wasn't a Keon Coleman guy. Last year was Joshua Palmer, which I laughed at that contract. Curtis Samuel, give me a break. So finally they went out and got a real wide receiver, and he will be the absolute unquestioned number one. But Khalil Shakir still will have a role. I agree. He's a floor guy. He's the kind of guy that I would probably want to add if I've gone either like upside picks early in my receiver room, or maybe took a chance on like a Neighbors early or something like that, it might take him a few games to get up to speed, but because it's like floor guys can help. They're not going to catapult you to fantasy glory, but if you do kind of take some high upside guys that have some volatility, and mixing a floor guy in there is not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, no, mixing them into your rosters definitely works. FK Coolers, what's up, my friend?
What's up?
He says, I think there's a world where Shakir could be this year's Wan'Dale Robinson, though that's probably the ceiling case. Yeah, and I completely agree with that.
Hard
to
imagine him having that kind of volume unless DJ Moore's healthy, but he's essentially like that's his role, is the slot, the possession, and he's actually has some nice yak ability too.
I'm just simply into him more in a site that has full point PPR than half point PPR, like here on Underdog. It's that kind of that easy for me.
And if you're playing it on anything that's standard, or if you want to count standard as no points per, then Khalil Shakir is not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Does anyone even do that anymore?
Some people do, and it's insane. That's why I say like that used to be called standard, but now PPR, half PPR.
Now it's old school. Yeah, PPR has been standard for 15 years.
PPR is officially standard. ESPN has been for the last like 5-6 years, something like that. Yeah. But Fantasy Pros, I know their standard is half. So it depends on what site you're on.
Now, I was about to move right along. Let's go ahead and pull up Khalil Shakir's ADP from this offseason. It's gone down. And here's the DJ Moore signing, and you see it really dip from there, and I completely agree with that.
Rightfully so. Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, we have Mr. Jake Ferguson. Fergie Ferg, y'all. So Jake Ferguson was a guy last year that both Corey and I were very into drafting. For me, a lot of times was my tight end 2. Corey, a lot of times was his tight end 1 because he likes to do the push tight end strategy. Ferguson was working great for the first half of the season. His first half of the year was phenomenal, first 8-9 weeks. Then he really fell off a cliff in the second half of the year. I don't know if that was injury related or if it was just more of a product of just the offense in general feeding more into, Lamb was actually, whenever he was really good early in the year, now I think about it, Lamb was hurt, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Lamb only missed, I think, like 3 games.
Was it only 3? Yeah, well, still, point is, by the second half of the year when Javonte Pickens and Lamb were all rolling, Ferguson definitely took a back seat for that.
And actually, Ryan Flanoy was getting a lot of looks.
He was getting a lot more targets at the end of the season. So with all of those pieces back, I'm not as attracted to take Ferguson this year as I was last year, but I'm still not against it, and I will mix him in because I do think he's a good tight end. Compared to last year, are you going to be into him just as much, not as much, or more?
Say, what was his finish? So full PPR, he was tight end 5, half 8. I'm not as into him this year as I was last year. Last year, I was just so bullish on Cowboys as a whole, because every other year Dak, that's the thing. Look it up. We talked about it on a few streams ago. But yes, Ferguson, he's the obviously unquestioned tight end 1. He's probably in the passing game, he's tight end, he's the 3rd receiving option, unless if the Cowboys, it's been floated out there. I don't think it's going to happen that they could trade George Pickens still, because Pickens is still just technically on a franchise tag. So there's potential there. And then they did sign Javonte to the long-term deal. So he's there for the next 3 years, and there's not much behind him in terms of backup. So Ferguson definitely has a role. He's probably going to settle into that tight end 8 to 10, I think, probably comfortably. I think he's a weekly starter. I know we're not talking that format, but I think he's a great tight end 2. I wouldn't feel as comfortable drafting as my tight end 1 as I did a year ago, but I think he's a rock solid tight end 2.
Yeah,
or back in tight end 1. Like if you wait, you could do a lot worse than him as your tight end 1.
And I agree with all that. It's just simply for me, as of right now, I'm not as attracted to him because I just like so many other tight ends more. And it's just kind of that simple. I think a lot of other tight ends, even later ones, have a higher ceiling case to be made. But I'll say this, if Pickens is gone, or if there is an injury and targets open up for him, that changes everything in an instant, because we have seen Ferguson be good.
Just to address Chad's comment there, he's actually, so they franchised him. So he hasn't signed it yet. So while he does have a cap hit, it's a huge cap hit, but it can be traded easily, because if he could get traded, then that franchise tag cap hit means nothing. That's the franchise tag's gone, and he would sign a brand new contract. You would think he would sign an extension with the team that traded for him, and it'd probably be pretty cheap. They just probably backload it. So it makes a lot of sense for them to do it if they wanted to. It doesn't sound like they want to, but it could happen.
Let's see what Ferguson's ADP has done. It's been extremely steady, just not hardly moved, which again, not surprised. There's really nothing.
Ferg shares. I know
there's really nothing to
like last year.
Yeah, to change.
He was my number 1 drafted tight end last year, and it won't be the case this year.
Dallas, I don't see, like we said, much changing. Okay. Next up, very interesting one. Jonah Coleman, rookie running back. So Jonah Coleman, watched video on him earlier. Whenever I had done this research here, power running back. Mm-hmm. Watching him, boy, is that true. It really is. You know what who he kind of reminded me of, body style and his running style, was Frank Gore. That's who I kind of was thinking of with him. But he seems a little bit more athletic than Frank Gore, and I have older Frank Gore in my mind. But still, he's a bully running back, but he has some juice to him, and I'm going to be pretty intrigued by him, especially depending on landing spot. So, tell me what you know and what you think about Jonah Coleman.
You hit the nail on the head. He's a super intriguing prospect, and I've seen plenty of folks in the industry that have him as the RB2 in the class. So it's all landing spot dependent. God, I hope not.
He's honestly, body style is kind of Kareem Hunt-ish. I can see that.
Yeah, hopefully just Kareem Hunt on the field, not off. But that's a whole another story. I think that this could be a great value if he ends up, if there's some running back needy teams that know that, or that aren't in striking distance of Jeremiah Love, then that this could be a day 2 pick, which I expect Jonah Coleman to probably be a day 2 pick. And if he gets in the right spot, let's say a Seattle or something like that, could be big.
And FK Cooler says, I can see Frank Gore. My current NFL comp would be maybe like Blake Corum, and potentially earns a bigger role than Corum someplace. I could see that. I can see that too. Corum is kind of that compact little push forward piece. Maybe Doug Martin-ish, too, a little bit. I could see that little muscle hamster. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yep. Casual says Chad says Blake Corum is too small. He's a little shorter. I think Coleman felt taller than Blake Corum does.
Yeah, I don't remember his measures, or I didn't pay too much attention.
I have to see that. Okay, let's take
ever
a look
since the Chiefs signed Ken Walker, I stopped looking at running backs. I like really study. I'm like, we ain't gonna take one. So, which so actually, funny. Daniel Jeremiah, who's I hate to deviate here, but Daniel Jeremiah, who's if you're into draft analysis and that kind of stuff, very plugged in guy, one of the more accurate mock drafters, one of the probably big 3 or 4 out there, has said that if Jeremiah Love is there at 9, he thinks Kansas City will still do it. Boy, would that not be insane. That would shake the fantasy community to the core.
We're not talking about that. Okay.
I wanted to happen only for just watch the world burn.
Of course you do. Okay. So Jonah Coleman, his ADP, it's gone backwards. It's gone down over this draft season, over the winter, which is the early draft season, which is interesting. I think it's probably more, I don't know this. I probably think that it just has to do with the fact of everyone slowly all the analysts talking about how bad the running back class is for this year's draft. And so just running back sort of going down in general as a result of that.
Yeah. All right. Honestly, I'm fine because we do so many of these this week, kind of hammered these rookies. They're lottery tickets at this point.
I will tell you this, the rookies we're about to talk to about tonight, especially after this, after I've researched them, I'm going to be into all of these guys we're about to talk about. So,
yep.
All right, next up, Mr. QB champion, Sammy D, Sam. The Marlboro Man's grandson.
Wild, still wild.
So
just got married. Good for him.
Just got married. Yeah.
Josh Allen was in his wedding.
So Sam Darnold, what a difference 2 years makes. My gosh. 3-4 years ago, we were talking about this guy like he was just literally nothing. He draft bust. Oh, typical Jets draft wasted QB pick. And then what's happened? He has emerged into literally one of the top quarterbacks in football, in real football. And this I don't think is going to change. It was Minnesota that broke him out. Rocking the Minnesota jersey tonight. Kevin O'Connell did his thing with Sammy D, and now he moved on to Seattle and took the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. It's just crazy.
It is.
So I'm going to be in on Sam Darnold again. I already have been in this pre-draft season. I'm going to be moving forward. I think he's a great QB2. Whenever that's what I'm, especially if I've taken a rushing upside quarterback first, then it even makes me that much more appealing to take Sam Darnold. I already talked about some of his earlier and later stack pieces. You still have, of course, I didn't even mention AJ Barner, who goes later and is easy to stack with him. Like, there's a lot of good pieces to work with Seattle.
Yeah, imagine being 2, 3 or 3 years ago, say that the first quarterback from the 2018 draft class that's going to win a Super Bowl, get to a Super Bowl, let alone win one. It's Sam Darnold.
Right.
Not Lamar or Josh Allen, but Sam
Darnold.
Nope,
Sam.
Not Baker. Not Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold.
Who was the number 1 quarterback taken in that draft?
Baker Mayfield? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bake show. And shout out to Josh Rosen, just so we don't, he was drafted there too.
Pour one out for Josh Rosen.
Oops, he's in insurance now, I think. But yeah, Darnold, he's from a fantasy perspective. Yeah, I think I kind of look at him as like, he's kind of like Jared Goff light.
Absolutely.
The biggest difference is like, Detroit's defense isn't necessarily bad by any means, but like Seattle has an elite defense. And so they're not, outside of when they play the Rams, they don't really get into a lot of shootouts. And his receiving core obviously has JSN, who's an all-world receiver. Rashid Shaheed's going to be fine for some deep shots here and there. But no Walker, no Charbonnet, maybe to start the year. So he could take a small step back, but as far as QB2s, he's easily on my QB2 radar.
And if you get him as QB3, then perfect, because that would be ideal. He's really more in the QB2 territory of draft range. So
yeah.
All right, and his draft season has stayed very steady, other than the Super Bowl spike week, as you can see. There's the Super Bowl spike, and then it's just maintained and leveled out right back to where it was. He says the reason I'm concerned is Sam Darnold is a system QB and Kubiak left. Yeah, maybe, but honestly, like I was saying, I think he's just proven enough to me. I'm into him, so I'm not that worried.
Kubiak was in Houston, and CJ Stroud stunk under him his second year. Like when they fired him, he was supposedly getting head coaching interviews after Stroud's rookie year. That stuck around, then got fired because Stroud took a massive step back. So I don't know. I think Sam, he's been around long enough. He's been around enough good coaching. I wouldn't worry about. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, same. I'm not worried. I'll be into him. All right, next up, one of the other very intriguing rookies from these rounds, and that's Mr. Kenyon Sadiq. And for tight end, I will tell you, this is the top. I would say him and Stowers, of course, are the top ones, but Sadiq being the top breakout pick. I know that picture is awesome.
It's like look at you, it's like you looking in the mirror. Look at you.
Oh, I know, right? Totally.
Seriously, Kenyon Sadiq reminds me of a young Spencer.
Exactly. I appreciate that, Core. Now, sure. I will tell you this. I've already been willing to wait and even get him as my one whenever I'm going to do a late tight end build. I'm going to continue. I'm going to mix him in. I can't wait to find out where he gets drafted. I was already thinking about my first dynasty draft. Like I was looking, I have pick 6 in BFL, and I'm like, I've got Jake Ferguson, and I just got rid of Kelce last year. I'm like, Sadiq would be a perfect pick for that at pick 6.
Do you know who has pick 5?
Is it that guy? You don't need a tight end. You're good.
I don't. I don't actually. I fanned.
Yeah, I know.
I fanned last year, round 4.
But yeah, so tell me what you think about Sadiq.
I mean, it's hard to not be excited. I'm honestly, the biggest thing I'm nervous about is Chad says like the Lions. That would, yeah, actually, I could live with that. Actually, what I'm worried about is like, what if the Ravens do it? You know, like they want or something like that, and then he's got to sit behind. You know, I know athletic, but it's a run first offense. Then and you got Mark Andrews that won't go away. So, but hopefully he goes somewhere if he can get inserted into a great offense and, be that guy, maybe not from the jump. I think it's like a lot of these rookies. Sometimes you got to wait a little bit, but we talked about it on another stream from a prospect perspective. He's a tick below, I think, Loveland and Warren were last year. He's not on the elite tight end level or prospect level like a Bowers was. I think Bowers was just such an elite prospect, and the only reason he even made it down as far as he did to pick 12 or 13 was because he didn't test at all because he had an injury. But I think he's probably just a tick below Loveland and Warren were last year. But I expect him to go probably middle first round, maybe like early 20s. And if he gets to the right spot, sky could be the limit. He's a little undersized, but he's also just a freak athlete.
Yeah, whenever I was watching him, that is one thing I thought. He's not like this big guy. He really he's big, but he's not very tall. He really kind of looks more like a wide receiver. But
yeah. He can block. He's 6'3", 241. He's a solid blocker.
Strong. Yeah,
he's a solid blocker. So he'll be able to at least contribute there. And he's not a guy that you're going to have to take off the field, on passing downs.
Yeah, that's big.
He won't be too much of a liability. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't think he's not like an uber blocker or anything, but he's better than like an Eli Stowers. Like Eli Stowers, when we get to him, he's a big receiver. He doesn't block.
Could the Dolphins snag him?
Absolutely.
That would be a great one. That would be a great one.
That'd be a really good landing spot.
I could see a lot of targets going his way from Malik Willis there.
Yep.
So, all right. Next up, Jalen McMillan, which is a very interesting pick this year to me. So I like Jalen McMillan as a rookie, and I think that there's something there with him. Last year, he was hurt. He missed most all the season. Then he came back. He played the last couple weeks, and he had a big. I remember he had a big game in the championship week. Like so, I know those things stick out.
Yeah, sure.
And so Jalen McMillan this year with Mike Evans gone. Now there's a lot of mouths to feed still, as we've talked about. There still is a lot of pieces there. And obviously Igbuka and Godwin, we like them so much. But as a wide receiver 3, I think that he offers some true breakout potential.
Yeah.
You into him?
I am, yeah. At best ball, this is the perfect format for Jalen McMillan because you don't know which buck is going to go off every week. You like to hope that Igbuka is most weeks, but there's going to be probably plenty of weeks where he frustrates and they all frustrate. So I think he's a great best ball receiver, perfect for this format. ADP, I'm very comfortable with. I like Jalen McMillan.
And it is a good point that 100%, this is a underdog best ball pick. This is not a guy who I would really be looking at targeting where I'm going to be setting a weekly lineup. At least not right now.
Yeah, redraft. He's a bench stash in case there's some injuries, but yeah, like I think best ball is perfect format for him.
Here's another example. Look at that Mike Evans spike. Ever since Evans left, Jalen McMillan has shot up, and that should come to no shock to anyone.
And his injury that he had last year was a neck. So it wasn't like a knee or something like that. It was a neck thing that, was serious, but I think
it was fracture. He fractured his neck or his spine or something in the preseason. And it was in like the first or second week of the preseason. And then that's what kept him out until, again, it was the last few weeks.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you're doing anything neck's always serious, but it wasn't something that he's gonna have to rehab all off seasons.
There should be there should have. He should have been fully back whenever he came back last year.
Yep.
All right, now we've got to another very intriguing and fun rookie here. As Chad said earlier, he's a Mike Washington stan, and I will tell you, I think I'm going to be too. I'm very into him, watching his highlights. He's big, he's tall, and he's fast.
Fast combine.
And, he's faster than this guy. But who here was my visual comp. He looks like Le'Veon Bell out there. Now, he's probably not as good as Le'Veon was from a shiftiness perspective or from a pass catching perspective. We'll see. Time will tell. And he's probably faster than him. But just body size, that's who he reminded me of out there. Now, with his potential landing spots being up in the air, is there a specific situation you think he needs to fall in for fantasy success? Or do you think that if he lands almost anywhere, he's a good pick for his home run ability?
Yeah, definitely. I could see it being this year's like RJ Harvey kind of ish if he falls to the right, if he's in the right spot, but Mike Washington, he lit up the combine. He was fastest combine time, and he's big dude. I think, they 6'1", 223 running a 4.3. Whoo, baby, that's lightning. So if I'm actually just pulled up, so every year I buy so I'm a Chiefs guy. I listen to KCSN. Shout out KCSN. They do a draft guide every year that's Chiefs specific, and they always have a player comp. Their player comp was Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray had a long, solid career.
What did you say his height and weight was again, real quick?
The measures that I'm seeing here is 6'1", 223.
Le'Veon Bell, I just looked it up. He was 6'1", 225.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yep. Super excited. I mean, again, a guy that big and that explosive, how could you not be excited about him? And if he ends up in the right spot, his ADP is going to do nothing but climb.
Yeah, I'm super.
He's a fun one. He's a fun one to watch.
I know. I think in our first stream, I think I took him and asked your opinion, and you're like, he was a combine speedster. I'm like, all right, that's enough. Take him. Now that I've seen him, I'm going to click his name.
And I know a weird amount of Arkansas fans that they were like, he was the only thing worth watching from the Razorbacks last year. So,
you know what? Missouri's not that far from Arkansas. So,
it's a weird amount of Arkansas or fans that I know. It's weird.
All right. Next up, We have. Who do we got next? Oh, one Mr. Travis Kelce, or I should say Travis Swift. So what do you think, Corey, Travis Kelce can do in his final season?
I do think it'll be his final season. And I'm gonna keep drafting him. Especially if this is the last dance, like let's run it back one more year. We kill a Trav. I know everybody's sick of him because the Kelce brothers are everywhere and the Taylor Swift stuff, whatever. I don't care. I've got to watch it. Like he's my boy. I kill a Trav. That's my guy. And
Divorce imminent.
calling it before even the wedding.
Calling it now.
Calling it before the wedding. But yeah, he's still going to be a focal point of the offense. He's probably going to be second in targets on the team. And for an Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes led offense, that's fantasy goodness. He's not the Travis Kelce of old, but it doesn't matter. The ADP that he's going right now, I honestly would be shocked if he doesn't finish as a tight end one.
I wouldn't be shocked, but at the same time, I get it. And his ADP has rose. So personally, I've always loved drafting Kelce. Like I love Kelce. I've been a Kelce fan all these years. I was not afraid in 22, 23. I would take Kelce in the first round. It was no problem for me. I'll just say this right now. I pretty much last year, I reached my point where I was like acceptance of the end of Travis Kelce. So since I've already mentally accepted Travis Kelce is done, now it's like, do I really want to jump back in? Probably occasionally whenever I try to do some
you're getting the biggest discount
it's
gotten on him. So if you were last year, he was consistently going like round 8, maybe 9, and now you're getting a 2 or 3 round discount compared to that. I know it's coming from me, Mr. Bias, but I'm still all the way in. I mean, we've talked about guys like Rondé Gadsden that had like 4 good games and is getting drafted in the top 10 rounds. Give me Travis Kelce here all day.
I get it. Okay. Now we've come to a free agent, Mr. Jauan Jennings. So we do not know his landing spot yet. We do know he's looking for a pretty decent contract. He thinks a lot of himself. And I think that it's probably mostly deserved. I'm a fan of Jauan Jennings. We saw that monster game from him 2 years ago where he had that like 50-point, 3 touchdown or whatever game. It was a monster game. And since then, he's backed it up. He's a very good, solid wide receiver. Last year, he was a good pick. If you wanted to dive in and take him, it wasn't a high ADP. And it was a profitable pick. Now, he's not had that same ceiling level that that we've seen the last couple of years. But personally, I'm going to be into him. It'll be interesting to see his landing spot. But right now, I'm clicking his name.
Yeah, he's a guy that's going to get signed after the draft. Teams are waiting to see how boards fall and how they end up, if they do take receiver, and then they'll, knowing Jauan Jennings is a potential, he's essentially a backup plan. And this is the time of year I've talked about it before where teams like to, get a little funny with the compensatory formula, and they like to wait till after the draft to sign guys, especially to what Jennings wants. He could still get the contract he wants, and so they can wait, sign him after they've seen how the draft falls, and then San Fran doesn't get that comp pick. But ultimately, I think Jauan Jennings is a fair price, and if he ends up in the right spot, then it could be a steal.
Yeah, and Chad's point of him being an injury magnet, I think, is a good point. And I would hate if he went to the Jets. I'll tell you that. The Jets or the Browns. I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe the Browns.
Yeah, Browns. Raiders actually was one that popped in my head too.
Yeah,
they have.
I guess there's some interesting / not great places he could go. But again, I'm into this ADP, and. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be drafting him. And Chad also threw this out. Congratulations, Spencer, with Mike Trout and O'Neal Cruz. Well, buddy, I appreciate it, but I'm not taking any victory laps yet in baseball. We've got way too long of a season to go. But right now today, yeah, Mike Trout and O'Neal Cruz are looking like really good picks.
Baseball's easy.
I was in on him the whole time.
Oh,
Not O'Neal. O'Neal towards the end, but
I was I did 7 drafts. Keep in mind, I only did 7, but I had O'Neal Cruz in 4 of them. So I just knew it. Baseball's really easy.
Dude, I know that's what you always say every time I say anything. You go, baseball's easy, dude.
I know. If anybody, I think we talked about it last time, but yeah, 7 drafts, 4 of them. I'm in first place right now, and I sent the screenshot to Spencer. I was like, dude, this is easy. I don't know why you guys think it's hard. This is
why are you struggling?
Like literally, this is free money. I should do this more often.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're welcome. A hole in one every time.
You're welcome.
I should just get a hole in one every time.
All right.
It's easier than putting.
Now we come to a super interesting / not interesting quarterback in CJ Stroud. What I mean by that is I think everyone was very into CJ Stroud and back after his rookie season, and then he's done nothing but disappoint really since then. And last year, whenever I watched
Blake. Look away.
Sorry, yeah, Blake, fast forward past this part, buddy. Last year, whenever I was watching, and I remember sitting here watching football with our buddy Kevin Durfee one afternoon, and I was like, does CJ Stroud just suck? Is he just bad? And now, granted, I've said the same thing about Trevor Lawrence in the past, and he's turned it around, and we have seen Stroud be good. And he is only going into age 25 season. So, and the Texans are a good team. There's a lot of still positive reasons why to take him. I'm not afraid to draft him if I want to take him as a QB3 and or I've waited on a 2 late or something. I'm not saying I won't draft him. I will occasionally, but he's not someone I'm going to be going after because I think there's a chance he's just no good.
Well, and to Chad's point of the offensive line, I actually think this has kind of happened to Patrick Mahomes a bit too, is like whenever you get just absolutely pounded behind an offensive line, you start to not trust it. You start to drift a little more. You're not exactly trusting what you're seeing out there sometimes. And over the last few years, he's just taken an absolute pounding with that just Swiss cheese offensive line. Last year, they got dominated in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and then in the offseason they traded Tunsil. It's like, what are we doing here? And then they traded their right tackle this offseason in Cleveland, Tyrus Howard. So it's like, what is happening right now? But I would say like that, yeah, he's just taken such a huge step back. Maybe he could get some confidence back if they can finally do something on the offensive line. But yeah, right now I just have little to no interest in CJ. Yeah, he doesn't run and he doesn't throw very many touchdowns. He's just I
don't want to throw him aside because I do think that there is still a chance that he could turn out to be a good pick. But again, he's not going to be a target. He will be a fallback. And
he could be playing for the extension this year, though. He probably is. I mean, yes, they've gotten to the playoffs all 3 seasons, but they got to the playoffs in spite of him and lost because of him. It was a good team, especially that defense elite was wasted on just trash play. So he's playing for a contract right now.
Yeah, and Casual Chat asked this earlier. Will Diggs retire? I don't know. What do you think, Corey? I haven't really seen anything about Diggs retiring. So as far as I know, he will play as long as the team is willing to sign.
Yeah, I would say with the legal stuff that's floating out right there, I'd imagine, and then also again, teams are just waiting to see how the draft falls. If they're not worried about the legal stuff, someone will sign him on a super cheap 1-year deal. So I don't think he'll retire. I think if he goes unsigned, it's because teams are worried about the baggage.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. I mean, he's never been happy anywhere he's gone, and he always thinks that he deserves more, which, don't get me wrong, sometimes that mindset is what drives a top wide receiver. So, hey, it is what it is. He's had a great career.
Yeah.
Okay, now we come to another very interesting rookie from this group, someone who I think, again, Landing spot is going to be interesting to see, but I'm going to be into taking Denzel. Don't call me David Boston. What do you think about Boston, Corey?
He's a Denzel that went to Washington. Huh? See what I did there?
I did. Yeah, I see it. I like it.
All right. Well, I will see myself.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. See you guys. Yeah, he is an intriguing prospect as far as like he's kind of that X receiver, boundary guy, contested catch kind of guy. There's holes in his game for sure, but he's been solid. My anticipation is he'll be a day 2 pick somewhere. He'll probably go in the second round. Sometimes these receivers, if there's a lot of them bunched together, teams know that and they wait. So if he falls in the draft a little bit, don't be surprised. But my expectation, he's probably an early to mid second round pick. And again, depending on landing spot, some people like him going to Kansas City because we have never really had that kind of receiver in a long time. So there's a chance, but yeah, he's an intriguing prospect. I don't think I have a ton of hope or I guess expectations his rookie year, but he could eventually develop into something.
Yeah. And, whenever I watched him, what I kind of thought, and he's obviously not as good as this player I'm about to say, but from a body style or body type and look out there, it reminded me of Tet just from last year. That's
sure.
He kind of looked like
Tet McMillan player, but yeah, right. He's a boundary or could be a big slot, kind of like that, like Tet McMillan. So yeah, it's a fair comp, body type wise, skill set potential wise, but yeah, just not nearly the prospect that Tet was.
And Chad, yeah, no, anyone that has been in the chat and seen these bots that have been coming in there, I just banned one of them. I said you did earlier.
I banned one too, yeah.
Yeah, but Chad says we've made it. We've made it as content creators. We're getting bots in the chat.
I'm gonna message Underdog right now and be like, hey, I know, like, codes aside, whatever, like, we've got bots, so. And we should, that would be our pitch to like, we should set up like sponsor interview, or whatever, and say like, we got bots.
We got bots.
Just pull up the slide deck, and it just says bots equal profit.
All right.
Sorry. I know. God.
Denzel Boston has dipped this in Boston. Denzel Boston has dipped this entire winter. So there's definitely been people that are off of him. So it's going to just be really interesting to see where he goes.
Landing spot dependent.
All right. Next up, another one of the reasons why I like waiting to this point at tight end and why I probably won't have a ton of Kelce, because I like Dallas Goedert more. And Dallas Goedert, in my opinion, he proves why you can't, especially with good tight ends on good teams, why you can't always say, well, they've not got touchdowns, so they're no good. Well, Dallas Goedert never got touchdowns. Well, guess what happened last year? Dallas Goedert started getting touchdowns, and those touchdowns made all the difference in the world. And I'm going to be in on Dallas Goedert again, especially if A.J. Brown is gone. What do you think? I know you're not the biggest Goedert guy out there. It's going to be hard for you to ever click him over Kelce. But
I don't dislike Dallas Goedert. I'm totally okay with him. He's a prime candidate for pushing tight end. I like to get guys like him. Yes, he was very, very touchdown dependent last year, but he's still is. If AJ Brown goes, that's going to open up a ton of targets, and we know that Jalen Hurts trusts Dallas Goedert, and they're going to scheme him up. So yeah, I think it's a great spot. I mean, this is Dallas Goedert territory. This is where he always goes. This is where you take him, and he's going to be a rock solid back in tight end 1 early, or tight end 2. Great floor guy. But yeah, and real quick, to answer Chad's question, Denzel Boston did go to the combine, but he didn't participate in all the drills, just a few. So I don't think the combine really did him any favors. I don't know why he didn't test, but that's
Okay.
been kind of a trend. A lot of guys are being weird about tests nowadays.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yep, I've heard some people talk
Marvin
about
Harrison
that.
Jr. just like I feel like he kind of started the trend, and now a lot of like he said he's not going to test because he wants to focus on being ready for the NFL season. Yada yada yada. Then we find out maybe he didn't test
That's
because he was hiding a
he
few
sucks,
things.
and yeah, and he didn't want them to know. So
Maybe he was hiding a few things.
you saw Goddard's ADP hasn't changed much; it stayed pretty steady.
Yep.
All right, now we come to another veteran. This time it is Aaron Jones, who re-signed with the Vikings. I've been an Aaron Jones drafter his whole career. I'm probably going to still mix him in this year, although I know we're coming towards the end. This is the very rare running back that goes into his 30s and still can offer production, and it's because of his pass catching. That's always been one of the best things about his game, and honestly, I think it's still going to be there. I think a very similar role to last year. They've got the same two running backs. We already have discussed Jordan Mason, and we both like Jordan Mason more. But whenever I'm looking for my fifth or sixth running back, I can see mixing and some Aaron Jones in.
Yep. I agree. Like I'm sure I'll get some shares here and there. I don't think I'll be very have a lot of volume or have a lot of exposure to him, but yeah, I love Jordan Mason at his ADP and Aaron Jones, just the age, the injuries, all that stuff. He's going to have spike weeks, but yeah, I can't say I'm going to probably have a huge exposure.
Yeah. And then as far as his, whenever he was a free agent, wasn't he?
Yeah, they cut him.
And then, they had cut him.
I think I'm pretty.
And then,
if I might be totally wrong, but I think it was one of those situations where they cut him or they were going to cut him, and he ended up taking a pay cut or something like that to stay. I might be wrong though, but that's just what, for some reason, that's what's sticking out in my mind.
Chad says he feels icky, just feels bad. I get that completely. And again, for me, it's a mix in as a RB5 or 6. Not someone
him doesn't
that
give me the warm and fuzzies.
Right. But I've talked about once we get around to this point, round one, about 150, I like to be done at running back if I can help it. And so if he closes out my running back room, it could be much worse.
Sure.
Like it could be Bill. Hey. Who's next up? Jacory, Croskey-Merritt.
Easy.
So this one is super interesting, and I'm actually very intrigued to see what happens with him because I wasn't that impressed. And in fact, I was kind of pretty let down. And then he smashed in the playoff weeks, and he had a monster championship game. It's like 2 touchdowns and 100-something yards. And
I'm not joking. I played him in one of my championship games, and
he was huge.
He was, and it was a day because it was I think it was a Christmas game or it was a holiday game.
Yeah, it was.
It was like a primetime one-off game, and I put him in last minute. And my opponent was like, "Are you like seriously? You played Bill?" I'm like, "Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was coming."
You do.
I was a huge Bill guy, though. I really was. Like before the hype, he was one of my favorite late picks in Dynasty. I took him in as my last round pick in a handful of Dynasty leagues that I play in. Yes, it wasn't the exact fairy tale season that I was hoping for. He flashed. If they take Jeremiah Love, then we know how they feel about Bill. But if they decide if he's there and they pass on him, then I don't know. If they're comfortable with White and Bill, then I don't know.
That's
not nothing.
If we are past the NFL draft and if we are looking at Rachaad White and Bill, I will definitely take both of them, and I will take Bill over Aaron Jones 10 times out of 10. I would never take Aaron Jones over Bill if it's just those two. Right now, today, as we're drafting, I'm just not clicking his name because if they do draft, even if it's not Jeremiah Love, if it's Jonah Coleman or Mike Washington or one of these other running backs, if they go out and spend day 2, 3, or even not day 3,
probably not
round
day 3,
2, round 2 or 3. If it's round 4 or 5, I don't know. But was Croskey? He was undrafted last year, right?
No, he was a 6th rounder.
Oh, he was a 6th rounder. So he was
Yeah,
last
he
round.
was. Yeah, he was drafted, and actually, he was a fairly decent prospect, but he had a eligibility thing that cost him the season. So it was kind of weird.
Gotcha. And that's why he ended up going towards the end of the draft. Well, nonetheless, point is, situation to be determined, but a right now very interesting unknown running back pick.
Yep.
Okay, next guy up.
7th round, excuse me. 7th round on
7th round.
Yep.
Next guy up, Chris Rodriguez, formerly one of the Washington Commanders running backs, now gone to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And as we stand today, he is Bashal Tutin's backup. And Tutin, definitely the breakout pick, but as we sit right now, Chris Rodriguez is a pretty solid pick. Overall, though, I don't think that Chris Rodriguez is that good. I've seen him for a few years, and he just seems like one of those guys that's like, okay, you can every once in a while you can throw him in and play him, but he's not that explosive, and his value is in getting touchdowns. So I don't know. I'm not going to be looking at grabbing him. Let's just say this: Chris Rodriguez versus Aaron Jones. I'm probably still leaning Aaron Jones, but not 10 times out of 10. That one's maybe 60-40.
It's funny that when I see Chris Rodriguez, all I can think of is like, I can imagine 6 months from now, everybody's so hyped on Bashal Tutin, but Chris Rodriguez keeps vulturing him or getting like significant snaps, and he becomes like fantasy enemy number one. Kind of like how he ended up like Bill was supposed to be the guy going into the regular season last year, and there was guys like Chris Rodriguez that just wouldn't go away. It was frustrating, and I feel like that's gonna be the same thing if like he's gonna. So with that said, ADP 140. If it's gonna be, we don't know for sure that Tutin is Tutin was a 4th round pick. We don't know that. Yes, Tutin flashed. They went out and gave real money to Chris Rodriguez. There's no evidence to support that Tutin is going to be the workhorse or anything. This could be somewhat of it could be a 60-40, maybe. That wouldn't shock me. I mean, Cohen last year, with Tutin and ETN, like they were in a decent little timeshare.
Gosh dang it, Corey. Why do you have to sell me on Chris Rodriguez?
Just say it. Yeah, either that. I'm not trying, and for all the Tutin folks out there, I'm not bashing Tutin, but he's an exciting player. I'm just saying, this is in the realm of possibility, and we need to prepare for it.
Well, look at his draft stock. I mean, it's gone up, and look at his ADP. Look at his ADP. Since the beginning of the month, when I pulled the data, he's up to 125 now.
Cohen hasn't been a workhorse running back. He's in Tampa. It was Rachaad White, Bucky Irving, even Sean Tucker, and then last year he mixed in LaQuint Allen even, and and ETN had a really good year. But think about how I was a heavy ETN owner, and Bashal Tutin stole a lot of goal line work.
I guess I got to kind of get some of my biases out of my head with Chris Rodriguez and think more about that system and what you're just talking about and what that role could be there. And I do agree. And seeing his Chad. ADP rise, I don't know.
Chad, I agree there. I think this running back room isn't as set as people are making it sound like.
And let's see what happens in the draft.
Sure.
Okay. Next up, Mr. Rashid Shaheed, one of the pieces I was talking about that if you grab Sam Darnold, you can add in as a stack piece later. Super fast, explosive field stretcher. I've been a fan of his on the Saints the last few years. He's someone who I've liked drafting because I love getting these guys late that can hit for these long touchdowns and spike big weeks. A few years ago, he was doing that all the time. I mean, he was Mr. Long Play Touchdown, and I was super, super into him. Last year, I will say this, when he went to Seattle, that explosive down the field long touchdown threat kind of disappeared. Yeah. He really didn't do it. He really wasn't targeted.
The special team stuff was electric, but he was not, and it's fairly common for a mid-season acquisition of a wide receiver for them to not or take some time to, but it never really happened. I think they'll scheme him up more this year, but yes, I'm with you in that year. I think it was still Derek Carr with the year when he tore his ACL, but up until that point, he was weekly, like a wide receiver one. Like that was like, this is the Rashid Shaheed we've been like thinking could be a thing. And then he popped his ACL, but the special teams, that's good. They gave him $51 million, so he's going to be part of the offense one way or the other. It's just obviously not going to be a high volume guy.
Yeah, Chad says I was yelling at the TV about how they didn't know how to use him. I mean that is so. So the question is that going to change coming into now his first full season with Seattle? Are they going to get him integrated more into the offense as from a passing game?
And the running game, actually, on the Super Bowl, by the way, I took the over on his 1.5 rush prop and I hit it. So no big deal.
Look at you. So you
free
knew.
Money.
You knew.
I just knew it. Free money.
So really, we'll see. I'm not going to I don't think right now, as we sit today, I'm not as into Shaheed drafting him as I have been the last couple of years. If I have Sammy D and I can add Shaheed, I like that. So we'll just see, though, right? I mean,
you touched on it earlier. A Seattle stack is super easy to make because it's JSN is the 4th, 5th overall pick, and then you don't even touch another Seattle player till the double-digit rounds.
We've not even talked about Charbonnet yet. I think that'll be next show.
Charbonnet, Barner, guys like that, and even Torrey Horton and Cooper Kupp and stuff. So like it's literally JSN round 1 and then nothing for the next 10 plus rounds.
And this is interesting to me where his ADP has spiked all winter. And then now it's kind of depressed into its lowest point.
Is that his ADP or is that his career games?
Yeah, it could be that too. Yeah, this could be his path. And then this, the big drop down here was the end of the season with Seattle last year.
Yep.
Yeah, he said, I like Rashid alone for spike weeks. Yeah.
That's a good format for him.
Yeah. And but again, I think there's a lot of good, it's just, we'll see. Again, I'm not as into it as I have been, but I still respect what he can do.
Sure.
All right. Now a pick that I know you're into. We've already talked about this. You've already done it several times, and that's waiting, going for the year 2 potential breakout of Cam Ward. But from a fantasy perspective, year 1 could not have been much worse. So with whatever they do in the draft, I personally, again, am hoping they do not sign Jeremiah Love because I would rather them go out and get him some guys to throw the ball to besides Wandale. So I don't know. I'm not as attracted to Cam Ward as you are early right now at this moment, but I do recognize his value as a late pick and potential breakout. So what do you think needs to happen for Cam Ward to truly reach his ceiling?
Sorry, I'm on tornado watch again right now. I'm like, it's just pouring rain. I'm like, oh God, here we go again. Last year sometimes when a quarterback most times when they get drafted early, there's a reason for that. The team sucked. Sometimes you get a Caleb Williams situation or something like that they're actually getting into a good situation. But Cam Ward, for me, it's year 2. I think just everything that I heard, like as far as like everything he said, as far as like his mentality, he said the right things. He seems like a good kid and a hard worker. He just was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken, you know what? And it was tough. I think that he has the talent. And if they, adding Wandale and still having Ridley, that gives him at least some reliable pass catchers, more so than he had before. Guys like Ioman or DK, Gunnar Helm could take, that next step. Jeremiah Love is favorited to go there. That would be massive for him. So I'm into Cam Ward. See, like that's for me. I'm surprised you're not in being a Bryce Love guy, where Bryce Young being a Bryce Young guy. That Bryce Young was horrendous in his rookie season because he was on such a bad team. to the point where he even got benched his second year, like 2 weeks in, because he was still so bad. Like so I'm a little curious of why you're so out on Cam Ward, but like you've always been a Bryce Young guy.
Well, and I don't think it's that. I'm not saying I'm out on him. I'm just not attracted to him right now in this spot because again, him versus Sam Darnold, for instance. You know, I would just rather take what I know of Sam Darnold, but I'm working my way there. This is we're early. My thoughts are going to change a lot over the course of this drafting season, and who knows? A month from now, a couple weeks from now, maybe the script flips and I'm really in on Cam Ward. You know, I don't know. Just right now, I just don't feel great. It's just a Titans thing too. I just generally don't like the Titans.
For me, that's the Browns. For me, I just don't draft Browns very often. I've had a lot of success over the years of just ignoring Browns. So I get it. Tennessee is not a sexy team by any means. And Jeremiah, I agree with Chad. That yes, in a perfect world, if Dallas is in love with someone and they're in love with someone and they can get picks, yeah, I'm sure they just need talent. That's why it's Jeremiah Love. I don't blame them for taking him because take the best player, but also they're not a running back away from contending, so they need to build elsewhere. But that's but what do I know?
Mekhi Lemon, come on, baby. Come on down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it out. I just like him to get a wide receiver.
I was going to say between Ridley and Wandale, like how many short receivers do you want?
True. Okay.
Like how many little
Kate,
I was going to say how many little guys do you need?
All right. So we'll just see again how this moves along.
Sure.
So far, drafters have stayed pretty consistent with Cam Ward over the winter. Okay. We're almost done, so we'll be starting a draft real soon, guys. Now, Isaiah Likely, someone who has spiked some really nice games, but I'll tell you this. I have found that people's perception and thought of Isaiah Likely for the last 2 or 3 years is so much higher than what his actual results in production have been. And I think that a lot of it has been because of 2 years ago in that first game of the year where he had that 2 touchdowns or one and then the other one that was called just out or it was something like that. I forget the circumstances, but everyone watched that, saw that.
He literally was out of bounds by a toenail.
And then he had, he had like one other really big
against the
game,
Chiefs, by the way.
And that was the Chiefs. Oh yeah, that's what it was, the Chiefs.
Yep.
But really, I just don't know. I like Likely. I do want to take him, but I just don't know that again versus Goedert, versus Kelce, versus who we might talk about on the next show is Likely a tight end I'm going to have a lot of this year. Not likely.
You just low hanging fruit. You couldn't
I had to.
Yeah. For me, yes, for years, I mean, especially in the dynasty community, trying to get Isaiah Likely in a trade has been impossible because everyone's been terrified that they're going to miss the breakout because he's flat. Even in his rookie year, and I remember in the preseason, he made some insane plays. People were like, "Who is this guy?" And I mean, I think he was a 3rd round pick, and yeah, he'd been playing. Everybody kept expecting him to leapfrog Andrews, and then that. At 2024 that you mentioned, that against the Ravens week 1, he had that huge game because Mark Andrews wasn't played, but he had been in a car accident a couple weeks before. So it took him about a month to really get back up to speed and to, playing shape. And Isaiah Likely ate in the beginning and did absolutely nothing. And for years, and you already mentioned him, Kevin Durfee has been just thinking that Isaiah Likely's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I was like, why? He's never finished above like tight end 17 on a season. So be very careful. Now Giants builds, sure, because we've talked about this. Chad's in agreement too. Like Giants could go off this year, like just with the talent that they have. And so I'm there, but like outside of a Giants build, I'm probably not going to have a ton of him, but I don't hate the ADP. I think it's fair.
Yeah, it is. It's fair. And again,
if he was being drafted where Gadsden was, I would be like, whoa, pump the brakes. This guy has never done anything. But this, I think, is a fair ADP.
So I'm not saying it is fair. Okay, definitely. It's just
He's a good throwing running back.
Next show, we're about to talk about his former teammate, Mark Andrews. I'm still going to be into Mark Andrews and Jauan Johnson, and there's some other tight ends that go even later that I'm so again, I will mix him in. I just don't see myself taking him a ton. If I have Jackson Dart, though, I am definitely more in on building him with stacks.
Yep.
Okay. Last player for the night and the last rookie. Another one that I am very intrigued by. This guy, Omar Cooper, seems just like a baller to me. Someone who, it's just a dog, got that dog in him. And so I think that wherever he goes, he's going to end up being pretty good. My initial kind of thought looking at his play style and body type is he reminded me kind of Jerry Jeudy whenever Jerry Judy's actually good. Not bad Jerry Jeudy, but that's who that was where my brain went whenever I saw him.
That's surprising.
So, but nonetheless, I'm pretty darn intrigued. What do you think about this guy?
That's the first time I've heard a player comp for Omar Cooper that wasn't Deebo Samuel. It's because he's a yak guy, yak. He literally is like Deebo Samuel 2.0. But the thing is, like, it's the college production. It's kind of funny. Like the Elijah Surratt, his teammate, Indiana, is not getting nearly the hype that Omar Cooper has been getting, but like Surratt was a much more productive college player. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, Cooper can absolutely be like contribute from day one with his skill set. But again, it has to be the right team, the right fit that's going to use him properly. He's not going to be, I don't know about a boundary, 100 catch kind of guy, but again, the Deebo Samuel, like that's kind of his skill set. And if they use him kind of like that, is just with, getting creative with him, then yeah, he could absolutely produce start year one.
Is there any potential landing spot that you've heard of for him? Like I see Chad throughout Miami, which that's also very intriguing to me.
That would have to be round 2 then, because they're like or 12 or they're 11. That would be way too early. But I'm seeing him mocked in the 20s, and so there's plenty of teams that could draft him if they're in love with the skill set. It wouldn't surprise me if he's an early day 2, but I think that he's going to go fairly early. But like it could be if someone's just in love with the skill set, he could be like 25 to between 25 and 32 would be, but I'm guessing it's going to be a early day 2 pick.
Well, it's going to be super interesting to me. This is one that, again, as I'm going along, I'm just learning these just for everyone who hasn't heard me say this before. I do not watch college football. I don't normally even know a name of a rookie other than Corey telling me a name before the NFL draft. Normally, I don't learn about them until the NFL draft. Then I'm exposed to them. Then I start listening to podcasts, and then I start watching video. And then that's whenever I make my opinions. I'm trying to dive in now, and it's very rare for me to dive in and formulate an opinion on guys before the NFL draft. So, because college stats for the most, their stats are video game numbers, and they don't mean a whole lot to me more than what their skill set is, obviously, and that's where so much of it just is going to be on landing spot. Their potential.
I don't pay attention to stats as much as metrics from a college standpoint, because like you said, a lot of time it's video game stuff, but there's certain metrics at the collegiate level that you can look for that could be potential. To Chad's point, stuff in the combine. Combine doesn't mean everything, but there are some guys that go in and just bomb the combine but end up being great. Kyron Williams, Bucky Irving, but then there's also guys that go in and crush the combine. And so that's the kind of stuff you need to look for. So again, it's more of I take that approach personally when it comes to evaluating college players. I'm not the biggest college football guy either, but whenever I'm looking at that stuff, I'm looking more a little deeper at the analytics rather than just raw stats, box scores.
And look at his ADP climbing. And
Yep.
what was it? What did I have? What was it here on the page? 143.
Yeah.
And then now it's up to 130. Is that what I just saw? Yeah. So
Yep.
he's moving on up.
He's a pretty hot name right now.
Cooper. So hot right now.
So hot right now.
All right. Well, guys, we have done it. We made it officially through the 24 players in rounds 11, 12. And now it's time to jump into draft and see how we can apply some of this knowledge we've talked about. I guess I can say I'm not gonna shy away from Chris Rodriguez or Cam Ward.
Glad I can sell you on those guys.
All right. So if everyone, Chad, anyone else who's watching, anybody that wants to draft with us, we're going to do the UDFA 3. We are to the 3 now, Corey. The 2 already filled. These things are just flying off the board. They made this one.
I love that.
They made this one. I saw 20 entries. The first 2 were 50 entries. So they kind of limited. So like the real degenerates, sickos who are doing their 50 of these, max them all, like Chad. You're one of our degenerate sickos.
Yep.
But yeah, and you know what, buddy? I'll end up doing probably another one tonight, and I'm after this too. So,
Chad, you're good for you. Chad, still have UD. I'm assuming you still have UDFA 3, or you haven't maxed that out, have you?
He's good. He says we'll join tonight.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, Corey, how about this time you do the countdown for us?
Ooh. Do you want to tell anybody that's? I think anybody that's here knows, or is it just?
I just did, but I think it's. Just
okay. I did. Okay.
But if there's anybody else in here, go ahead and. All right.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, enter.
All right. Here we go. Come on. All right. Good. 9 more.
Okay. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, well, this is a perfect time while we wait on this to fill for me to go take a quick bathroom break. So give me a second, Corey, and I'll let you and Chad talk it out here for a minute.
Just filling airtime right now. Oh, gosh. This is going to be fun. God, I'm going to lose my mind if I get the freaking 11, 12 pick again. I always do, and it's so frustrating. Yeah, but then if I do, I just need to mentally prepare myself to just like draft different. I know I don't. I understand that I don't have to draft different players, but I can't stand drafting the same people over and over and over. And so hopefully I can. I would even be fine with pick 7 just to mix it up because I haven't really had it. I just keep drafting at the back end, but fingers crossed that I get a better pick just so I can take some different guys. And again, I know build wide doesn't really matter because we do so many of these, whatever, but it just bothers me to keep drafting the same dudes over and over. But I'm mentally preparing myself you don't have to take BTJ. You don't have to. You could just let someone else do it. So we'll see how that goes, check back later. And I'm not confident, but we'll see. Oh, I mean, pick 11, 12, like the pick 11, 12, barring somebody doing something crazy and letting, like a CD Lamb or a Justin Jefferson fall down there. Like that's easy. RB. And I'm 8. Okay. I'll take 8. I can do 8. Spencer's 11. Okay. Rashid Rice at 8. What? Yeah. That is a lot. That is rich. Chad, is that you at 1? Are you 101? Yeah, Rice at 8 is insane. That's coming from me. Oh, your fork. I couldn't remember what your name was. Oh, yeah, I knew that. You are fork.
Unlucky Coy. Yep.
Yep, I knew that. Yep, I forgot. Yeah.
Oh, so I got pick 11, I'm seeing. Okay,
I'm
let me
8.
get the draft board pulled up for everyone here. Uno momento, por favor.
Who are you going with, buddy? Whoa. Money where your mouth is. You're a money where your mouth is guy. I love that. Heck yeah. On business.
He said he'll take Jane T at pick 4.
Yep,
hey, that's right. No, I love it.
On business. Oh, man.
Unlucky Coy. All right.
Man, it's so weird taking Amon-Ra over Lamb just because I've always been such a big Lamb guy, but
oops.
I don't know. I just trust
dude.
I trust Amon-Ra.
Well, guess what? You just gave me Lamb or Jefferson, so either way, I'm good to go.
You're welcome.
And yeah, I also trust Amon-Ra. In Amon-Ra, I trust. All right. Justin Jefferson, JJ, come on down. This is perfect. Wearing the Vikings jersey. It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
This is an Adrian Peterson, by the way. All of my jerseys are of old retired players.
Of course they are. Yeah, those are the best ones.
They're the best ones. All right. So Achane, Ken Walker, Hampton, Jeremiah Love, Neighbors. I'm just going to roll with Achane.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, I know you're an Achane guy. I'm an Achane guy. I know the team situation isn't great, but gosh dang it, I'm just going to keep going to the board.
All day.
Going to the well.
All day. Bam.
Okay, now coming back around.
I was hoping Ken would find
I know you were hoping Ken Walker.
I was hoping. I gotta say, never mind. I think I'm gonna take Hampton. I was gonna say I was considering Trey McBride. But I want to get running back.
But not today.
I was going to say, the last stream I ended it on saying I got to knock out running backs early, and then I go wide receiver, tight end.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, as we move back around here, let's see who Chad adds in with this team at pick 4. He may go Trey McBride. Nope, he will not.
No, he will not. But
he will go Brock Bowers, though.
Tight end. He was going tight end.
Jane T. Bowers. Hey, what did I say? I said whenever we talked about Jane T. on that first one, I'm like, I will take Jane T. Bowers if I have pick 12. I'll do the Jane T. Bowers. I'll reach up on Bowers to do that stack. I have no problem with it whatsoever. And
going all in already, Raiders, what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. But already early in this draft season, I'm a Brock Bowers over Trey McBride drafter so far because I've been getting Bowers even into round 3.
I was going to say that's not. Yeah, I would say that's not like your personal rankings base. That's just how it's fallen or value wise, I guess.
Right. Well, right. Well, I'm saying from a shares, I'm up to 30. I think this is draft overall like 33 or 34 for me.
You just set that site up for mine, the tracking your shares and stuff.
We'll do that. We'll do that. So we'll talk about tracking shares and looking at player shares and stuff like that once we get into the regular draft season here coming up very soon.
Right.
And Chad stuck with running back, so he's pushing wide receiver and grabbing some Josh Jacobs. Definitely into that as well. I like doing the strong 2 running backs because again, running backs is going to get weak pretty quick.
Yep.
All right, Cor. You're picked away.
So hard for me. It's just
I know.
Kyron actually is kind of who I wanted, but I mean, we know who I'm going with right here.
Just lock up your boy, Mr. Breece Hall. Come on down.
Yeah.
Just like going with the Raiders, what could go wrong? Hey, why not go with the Jets?
I'm just going all in on the Jets, baby.
If Garrett Wilson makes it back around, you will take him. I have no doubt about that.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Exactly. Okay. So this is interesting because Tet, T, Garrett, Egbuka. I think that I'm going to go. I think maybe the biggest upside is with to attach to Baker and go with Egbuka here. I don't know. I'm going to mix it around. I'm not set on that all the time. Tet could easily be better, or Garrett Wilson, but I'm going to go with Egbuka.
Yep.
And then this is a spot where I need to decide if I want to jump back in to running back 2 here. I don't think I'm going to, though. I think that Lad McConkey sounds like a really good 3 behind Jefferson and Egbuka.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
I'm going to most likely be, well, for sure, I'm going to be taking a running back coming up soon, but we'll see if I double tap next time. All right, Cor, back to you.
Let's see. Oh.
What'd you do?
Lions build. Went JMO.
JMO. All right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Lions build.
You are at this point, you are committing yourself to most likely spend up to grab Jared Goff before his ADP to make sure that you make that happen. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how it goes, but yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
you got Chad. He was hoping for some JMO.
Yeah, I'm a JMO guy, but I mean, I did like Mike Evans. Normally, I think if I was going to go receiver, there probably would have been Evans, and I'm just I've always been a Javonte apologist, but I don't love the 4th round capital for him. It's not terrible.
Oh yeah,
and then Bucky scares me, so it was definitely receiver was the move here.
Javonte is going to go from one of my highest drafted, and I know yours as well, one of our highest drafted running backs from a year ago to a very low drafted guy because of this increased draft price. And it's not that it's not deserving, but I'm just going to look to avoid and go other places.
Yeah. I had 1 million ETN shares last year too, and I just passed on him too. So it's like they're nothing to me anymore. They mean nothing to me.
Now, I will say that I do find it something that is a point worth bringing up. I don't know that I love taking Jameson as the number 2 wide receiver whenever I have Amon-Ra. Other than, again, if you want to commit to the Lions build. Yeah. That to me, I think that at that point, by doing it, you're committing. And I probably would say at that point, I would look at trying to get Laporta as well. All right, tooting it up.
Well, we'll go toot. Now, man, Travion got that close to me. Oh, I would have been so happy.
That would have been nice. And
awesome.
Chad got his boy Scatabo. I know that you are a big Scatabo guy.
I knew that Scatabo was going to happen. As soon as I saw, I was like, okay, well, who else? I was like, I can already cross Scatabo off my list.
All right, coming back around to my pick here. So, I talked about grabbing a running back, but I think this is the time to push it and just look a little bit further because I don't feel like spending up right now on RJ Harvey. So I think I'm just going to push running back a little further down the line and just build up some of these other positions here. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my tight end 1 now with Tyler Warren. So getting QB1 and tight end 1 out of the way. Now I can look at loading up in rounds, 8 to 12 at running back, kind of bulk in those and fill in the gaps in those rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Now we are a pick away. What are you looking at?
Gosh, RJ Harvey. Do I do it? Do I just keep going on RBs? Because, yucky. And he's Brian Thomas. I can't.
He's staring at you in the face.
I know. I hate it. Actually, I'm going to go Jayden. I'm going to go Jayden here.
Jalen?
Or Jalen. Yeah, I'm going to go Jalen. I want to get a top tier. So my plan would be I'm shooting for a two quarterback build. At least 2 high, but like Hurts and then Goff later and just be totally fine with that.
Keep Hurts unstacked?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too. I just pointed out, like, is there any pieces of the Eagles that you want to stack with him later, or when you take Hurts like this with not having AJ Brown, Saquon, or Devonta, is there
Goedert? Yeah, Goedert's still in play. If I want to go the Hollywood or Dontavian Wicks route, I can. Yeah, I mean, there's still Eagles pieces. You don't have to tether Saquon to Jalen Hurts. So really, it's just Brown and Smith that have gone off the board, and we don't even know if Brown is going to be an Eagle this time next week.
No, we do not. And I love the Caleb Williams pick there, especially with your number one wide receiver being Luther Burden attaching there and then grabbing Parker Washington. Really fun upside build you've got going here, Chad. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So are you looking at Addison for a Vikings build or nah?
Nah. Nope. I'm not looking at Addison.
Whoa.
So for me, I prefer to not go with multiple pieces on the same team from Kyler Murray driven offense. To me, again, if it were a fall, like if he swings around, yeah, maybe, but still, even then, I don't think so. I just really don't.
Okay. Well, you didn't even get the chance anyway.
No, didn't even get the chance anyway. I mean, I know who my pick is going to be here if he makes it, and he did not. It was going to be Cortland Sutton. That was
I knew you wouldn't be able to resist.
I'm a Cortland Sutton drafter and big fan. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and get my second QB and Justin Herbert to pair with Ladd. And now with Jayden Daniels and Justin Herbert, I can also just do a 2 QB build or add a third one later. But it frees up my next 8 rounds, give or take, from not having to worry about quarterback. And then there went back-to-back quarterbacks. So now I do want to go ahead.
Johnston on the board for you, or is that next?
That would be a next time type of deal. But I'm not gonna take him next time because I'm gonna start pounding running backs in the next few rounds, and I'm gonna grab Jacoby Myers right now because this feels like a really good spot for a RB4. Or a wide receiver for Jacoby Myers.
Am I crazy to push Goff, or do I take him? So there's
where he's at.
ADP. There went Mahomes. So yeah, I have to. I think
you've got to take him again. Yep. When you do the 2, the Amon-Ra Jameson, to me, that's how I feel.
Yep, and I'm fine with that. I mean, it's not like crazy.
It's not crazy. No, I mean, ideally, he would have fell to your next round, and you could have taken him next time.
In a perfect world. When what I was going to say when we were kind of talking it through is like if one of these next 2 picks ends up being a quarterback, that kind of forces my hand. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm committing to and now for me, I'm good at quarterback. I'm done, and I think, yeah, you are too, right? Like we're both just gonna like get it over with. Quarterback's done.
Well, I was just saying I'm not necessarily done, but I'm done for the next 6 to 8 rounds. If this was an 18-round draft, when we get to the next part, like when we get to the regular draft season, if I have Jayden Daniels and Justin Herbert, yeah, I will be done. That will be a 2 quarterback build. But in this one, I can see throwing in Cousins or Rodgers or Tua or Shaheed Sanders or one of those guys late, or even just take a flyer on whatever, Ty Simpson or whatever, in the very end.
Yeah, well,
I can see in these 20 rounds
at the end of my drafts. Yeah, I've been taking Shaheed at the end of my drafts. Why not?
But by spending up in 2 strong QBs, it frees up all of these middle rounds to not have to worry about QB.
Right.
All right, coming back around to us. Let's see what Chad does here as we move into round 9. I haven't seen anything.
Algier picks solid.
So Algier and Monungai. Yep. And now you look at that 1-5-2-1. With really nice 5 running backs. And I know already from our previous drafts together, you're going to be able to fill out a good-looking wide receiver core. So we'll see how this one ends up coming together. Okay, now Corey, you are a pick away. Do you have anything specifically you're wanting to look at?
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, this is Laporta time. If he's, I mean, I don't want to mess around if I'm going to commit, especially there because Kyle Pitts just went. That's an easy pick.
Yep. There you go. Okay, so now that you got Goff and Laporta, this is where again. Now I'm on board with your Jameson Williams in round 4 because that was my only thing is I just felt that if you weren't able to complete that Goff Laporta Lions build, that I think you were cutting off your own upside by taking those two.
Yeah. Well, Sam, he's home.
He's coming home.
All right. Let's see who else we got here.
All right. Kenny Gainwell. He's back home too.
There he is. There he is. He's back, baby.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, Kenny. It was Kenny Gainwell time.
And then we're sticking.
Quentin Johnston.
Quentin Johnston would be the pick here if I wasn't already planning on going running back. And Jordan Mason is the perfect one. See, I only had Achane. These are my rounds to hit running backs because running backs are going to die, and my running backs would be too weak if I don't commit right now.
Okay. I think Johnston was the pick there, but agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. I'm still into Johnston. It's just that I don't need to overstack that team. I only have the two pieces, I
was gonna say I wouldn't call that an overstack at all.
Well, if I would have just added Quentin, it wouldn't have.
I mean, do you even stack, bro? Have you ever stacked before?
I've stacked a time or two, but my point is I'd already committed to in my mind by pushing running backs the way that I did, making sure that I spend these rounds. Again, by the time we get to 150, which for me is round 13, I want to be done or at least have 5. And yeah, if I wouldn't have had Jordan Mason, I can already say whoever's going to be coming back around to me, I wouldn't have felt great. Like if I would have taken Quentin Johnston, I'm looking at Aaron Jones as being the top running back on the board at my pick.
Okay. Whatever you say, hot shot.
Now you took Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, of course, I'm gonna take advantage of your mistake.
There you go.
You kidding me?
And Shuck went to Chad. Me some Shuck there. And then let's see what he does here. It's Coker time.
Cokeheads unite.
What time is it? It's Coker time.
Time is it? Bap time.
You got it.
Stupid.
All right. So coming back around to you, you've got a 2-4-3-1.
Yeah.
What are you looking at as it's approaching your pick?
I got 3 names queued. So one of them will be there. Let's see here. I think I might be looking at your boy Rachaad White. Yeah, we're doing it.
There you go. So I was hoping he would fall because I do have Jayden Daniels, but it's okay. I don't have to have him all the time with Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels is also turning, by the way, into one of my highest drafted early picks because I'm just round 5 start, round 6 pick.
I think we've
all right, there goes Chris Rodriguez. So, I don't, if the guy who has in the turn, he only has 2 running backs. It's Cook and Barkley. He's pushed running back. I'm not going to go Aaron Jones, even though that could be a stack piece with Mason. I'm going to take the Mike Washington. I was going to take Jonah Coleman. That was about to be the plan, but he went after you. So Mike Washington, come on down. Yep. And then now, as we come back around, maybe I take Aaron Jones as a 5, which kind of fits more in line with what I was saying earlier. But also, I don't have my tight end 2, and
Kenyon Sadiq's
Kenyon
there.
Sadiq is
Kelce.
standing
Yeah,
out.
I was going to say, like, Kenyon Sadiq.
So I'm just double checking. He's my starred guy, making sure. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Kenyon Sadiq, baby, come on down.
Sadiq, come on down. All right, Kelce gone right after. We had a little tight end run. Oh, we got a big tight end run. As
I
we
know, and I'm like
you.
debating if I'm going to stick with my. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go Aaron Jones.
Okay, there you go.
And then and so that I'm good with my running back room now. Like I think I'm done at running back.
Yeah, you have 6. You should be.
I'm
done.
6. I'm done. Kelce probably would have been the pick there, or Goedert is actually who I was hoping would make it back. But yeah, other than that, I think just Goedert and Kelce going. It's like that just made my decision. I'll just round out my RB room, and now I don't have to worry about it anymore. That was my plan.
Chad, what you gonna do here, buddy? Let's take a look and see.
I'm gonna guess receiver.
Yep, Rashid Shaheed.
Yep. Man, look at that tight end run. 5 in a row.
Yeah, that was a big tight end run. There goes Isaiah Likely.
And see, so my thing on like Andrews, for example, for me, I would have. It's not anything to do with the player. I hate being at the end of runs, and that just seems like a panic pick to me. Almost. I mean, maybe maybe someone's a big Andrews guy, and it's not that I necessarily say it's too much of a reach or anything, but
Omar, that was the perfect pick for that.
Yeah, but also I just I guess, but I guess for me too, I don't know. I just hate being at the end of runs and like panic picking.
Well, for him, that wasn't a panic pick. That was literally him sitting there with the plan to get Andrews in that round, and then watching the other tight ends going, "Please, no one snake. Do not snake me."
Yeah. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on that.
All right, you're up.
Alrighty. I will bet on Jauan Jennings here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I'm okay with that. See if he ends up at a decent spot. He could provide value, because that's kind of what I'm looking for right now is just value. Wow.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Hawk.
Take away. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
All right. Woo. Zach Charbonnet, my hope that I was just hoping and praying that he would come back around and make it there, and he did. Oh, that feels great.
All right, how many tight ends do you have?
2.
Okay. I was gonna say because Chig with your Jayden, but
nah, this is a perfect time to grab James
Conner. But no, I just didn't. As
my potential final running back. I may actually go 7 on this team. I might do a 7 running back build, but now I feel really good. See, this is what I was talking about. If I didn't have any one of these running backs, I would not like my room anywhere near as much.
There's a lot of those guys. I think I might go ahead and grab tight end 2 right here. We'll go Jauan Johnson. Why not?
Why not? Again, Jauan Johnson. I could have taken Chigakonkwo if I did want to go ahead and grab. Is that why you asked me earlier how many tight ends I had?
Yeah, I was just wondering because like that. That's why I was asking was if you had 1 or 2 or something like, or if Chig was even in consideration. But
if I wouldn't have taken Sadiq, then yes. If I would have taken in that round Aaron Jones, then gotten Charbonnet, then yes, that would have been Chigakonkwo instead of James Conner there. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
You know, a Detroit one that I could have considered too is if I wouldn't have gone running back.
That's
Pacheco. If I wouldn't have gone that Aaron Jones pick.
Yeah, you could have, but I don't know. I mean, my brain just filters out Pacheco. I don't even look to click his name ever, but that could be wrong. We'll see.
Ouch.
It hasn't burned me yet.
I'm telling you said
that. Don't you dare.
I'm gonna do it. You can't stop me. Travis Hunter, I don't know if you heard anything about him recently, where they're saying like this whole, like, I think it was Liam Cohen, or no, it might have been Liam. I don't remember who it was, but it was like someone with maybe some knowledge, but said like the Hunter cornerback only thing is ridiculous and like totally overblown.
Well, I've not been big into, I'm not really big into NFL Twitter right now, but I will say that I was listening to a podcast this morning and I heard him talking about that, where basically someone asked Travis Hunter about it or whatever. And Travis was like, who did you get that information from? Like, what are you talking about?
Right,
really kind of poo-pooing that. So,
sure.
But we've discussed it already. Travis Hunter feels like such a great pick this late period.
Yeah. Man, I think.
All right, back to you.
I think I'm going to take the dip on Debo.
Take the Debo dip. There you go.
A little Debo
I like it. You could have taken Pacheco. You passed again.
I did.
All right. Now we're come back around to me. And there's a perfect layup pick, which even makes me feel even better about not taking Quentin Johnston.
I knew. I actually
almost.
No! Yes. Because I almost took Trey Harris to teach you a lesson. But I'm glad that happened. And see, now you know you had the chance for a perfect, gorgeous stack, and you pissed it away.
I sure did.
On a guy who he's not even the RB1 on his own team.
I sure did.
That's blasphemy against Jordan Mason, but yeah. It's early, man. You're just not in mid-season form yet. I get it. It takes a minute.
Now you're making me want to be anti-Quentin Johnston with you egging this on. So
just don't take Chargers if you're not going to stack them.
I will just never take Quentin Johnston ever again, just to prove you a point that he sucks.
I'm really not a Quentin Johnston guy, which is even funny. It's like I've never. Well, last year, when he always went nuts against the Chiefs, and all I would do is scream at my TV, "He's not even good. What is happening right now?" I'm going to go Malik Washington here.
There it is.
I like that pick.
I looked at Malik. We were talking about Tank Dell earlier, with talking about Jayden Higgins, and I want to add some Tank Dell shares in here early. This feels really good at 182.
Miami has to bring someone else in. Jauan Jennings.
Oh, they'll bring someone else.
They'll bring someone else in, but I mean, you never know. Like Malik Washington at this point, it's a solid dart throw. Man,
he's still a good dart throw.
If Pacheco's there next time, I don't know if I can say no to that one. Like just with my Detroit build. So someone take him, dang it.
All right. So I see we've got Devon Vele going to Chad, who had just taken prior Geno and Mason Taylor. Like that. Vele was a stack piece in with his Shuck. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all Shuckers. Oh, Pacheco went. Thank you. Jeez Louise. Gunnar Hill. And I think I'll probably. I'm not sold on if I'm gonna take a tight end 3 or not with Laporta, and I mean honestly, the only thing that makes me want is just his injury history. Makes me probably think I should take a third tight end.
Yeah, again, it's just for these 20 rounders. I'm more just, to me, I kind of feel like you want to take 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends. Doing these are way too early, 20 rounds, but it doesn't have to. I'll be into the 2 quarterback, 2 tight end builds a lot more once we hit the 18 round drafts.
Where are we at right now? 17.
17.
You know what?
By the way,
I'll take a shot on Rodgers. We'll do a 3.
there you go. I'm a big Tez Johnson guy here at the end. I think that could be a great pick. I was huge on him, so I like that.
Yeah, I like Tez. Yeah. Again, that offense, if they just stay healthy, I like them.
All right, I'm gonna pick away.
Okay, so
yep, I know what I'm doing. Let's just see what this guy in front of me does. All right, there it is. Tua, come on down. For someone who doesn't like Tua, I've already drafted him a lot.
A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Every time this late, and it's my 3rd QB, it just feels like way too much of a layup as a late 3rd QB.
All right. Yeah, I know what my build's going to be.
You mentioned him earlier. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with Flournoy.
Yeah, Flournoy, he looked good.
There's one of the rookies I could have gone with. Oh yeah, you were hoping for Patty Fryermuth.
I actually didn't really care. Kate Otten, not in love with it. Gasecki. I'll go Kate Otten and just give him for those like 3 weeks that he'll have good games like he always does.
Yeah, and again, his role always expands if there's injuries.
Yep. So you never know. But yeah, I'm fine with that tight end room. So I think these last 2 are going to be receiver for me. Elijah Surratt was someone that I had starred.
That was that other Indiana guy you were talking about, right? Cooper's teammate.
Yeah. He was just a bit more pretty. He's a possession type receiver, so he's not flashy or anything, but he's going to be he might be a late day 2. Potentially squeak into day 3, and that could be a great value. Like, it doesn't have the ceiling that Cooper does probably, but I think you could easily argue a better floor. No Kirk bros. Yeah, well, I'm okay with Kirko. But I went Rodgers, a guy who's literally not even in the league right now. So that's really smart.
It's really smart.
I'm really, really, really smart.
All right.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and start.
Chad's a pick away from his round 19. Grabbed him some Hollywood last time.
Hollywood.
What you doing, buddy? Jahan Dotson.
Gosh. Still getting.
So Chad's got him a 3-5-9-2. I know you like to do the 10 wide receiver builds. I've seen you do that last time. I have the 3-6-6-3. Going to finish with the 3-6-8-3. You've got the 3-6-6-3 as well. And you're probably finished with the 3-6-8-3.
Elijah Arroyo.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'll be a 3-6-8-3. And these rookies. I just wish I knew where they were going to be. And I got sniped on Torrey Horton. Shoot. Guy. I'm frozen. Shoot.
Star. You better star.
Yeah, I starred.
Kyle Williams.
Yeah, I starred Kyle Williams right at the end. Yeah, it was frozen. Wouldn't let me hit draft, but I like draft. I've been taking some Kyle Williams at the end.
So I'm going to take one of these rookies that you were just talking about, Branch or Hurst. I don't know a ton about either. I think I'll go Hurst.
Yeah, Ted Hurst. So actually, because Zachariah Branch is like, I think I don't know. He's been a polarizing guy. Like some people love him, some people absolutely hate him. Not like from a personal level, but let's see. I'm just gonna look at some player comps here at the on my draft guide. Ted Hurst. Oh yeah, DJ Chark was the comp there, and Branch was Demario Douglas. Yeah, I see that.
I'm going to take a guy that may end up being a nothing burger pick, but for a potential Jayden stack piece in the very end, I'm going to take Treylon Burks and see what happens. As of this moment right now, I think he's the wide receiver 2 to Terry McLaurin. So,
well, and so it's like earlier when we were talking about Omar Cooper, we were talking about the Debo thing. I was also thinking like, yes, he could be Debo, but he could also be Treylon Burks.
Yeah, right. And Treylon Burks, that pick's probably nothing, but it's round 20, and
you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I thought that was worth a gamble there.
I just picked Tyquan Thornton, so
you some Tyquan Thornton,
dude. I'm telling you, he's best ball guy. He's the deep threat. It's not worthy. He's the deep guy.
Threat.
He's the deep guy. Not worthy.
Preach it, brother.
Yep.
All right, Chad, let's see. I'm assuming you're going to go wide receiver. Let's see what you do here with your last pick. And then we'll take a look at our teams and call it a night. This has been another really good draft.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed talking about those players tonight too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the later we get, the more interesting they are.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Okay, Chad. He went with the Olamide Zaccheaus. You know what? Actually, that maybe wouldn't have been that bad of a pick since I took Tua. I wasn't even thinking about Zaccheaus. I don't think I went down far enough. But Zaccheaus is honestly a better pick than Treylon Burks. So,
what isn't?
I mean, yeah, almost anyone I picked could have been better than Treylon.
That's coming from a deep down pain from being a dynasty owner of Treylon Burks, spending a high draft capital on him. Oh boy, it's fun. Fantasy is really fun.
All right, let's do our rundown. Chad got his 3-5-10-3 with Caleb, Shuck, and Gino. His tight ends being Bowers and Mason Taylor. Man, I love your structure of what you do here, bud. It's really nice. Jainty, Jacobs, Scatabo, Algier, and Manungai.
Those are some thumpers.
5 thumpers. And then Leighton pushing the wide receiver room and bulking the crap out of this thing with Burden, Parker Washington, Coker, Shaheed, Diggs, Vele, Tez, Hollywood, Dotson, and Zaccheaus. Yeah, man. I think it's very interesting strategy, and I really like the build. We'll see how the wide receivers turn out. Obviously, that's the whole point of doing a build like this, is you're gambling and hoping that those guys can fit together like a puzzle. All right. I went with the 3-6-8-3. I think Corey did as well. So this is just the traditional build. I say this is the traditional build. It's the traditional build for me. Jayden, Herbert, and then throwing in Tua at the end.
Seawald save number 7.
Oh, look at that. Tyler Warren, Sadiq, and Stour. So I went double rookie and behind Warren. That's a very volatile but very high upside tight end room. And
that's one you might not. You got the steady Eddie of Warren to get you through to hopefully the back half is typically when those rookie tight ends start to flash.
Yep, you got it. And since we don't know bye weeks, hopefully the Colts bye week is round 11 or 14.
It's so funny that I keep
11
like whenever I'm drafting these, I keep forgetting that we don't know buys too. So like it's
once we get buys in here, then this is going to change everything too. That'll be right at about a month from now, and we'll have a lot to talk about then. Okay, and then once we truly know end of season schedule, who plays 2 for playoff weeks, week 17 opponents, all of that.
Yep.
My wide receivers are pretty strong. They're definitely strong at the top. Jefferson, Egbuka, and Ladd, and Jacoby. And then I waited, and I could have done better. I don't love my bottom four, especially with looking at Treylon's name here, thinking I probably should have done something else instead of worrying about a potential round 20 stack piece. With that said, though, I think it's a good enough room that my main guys can hopefully get me by. And then my running backs, by taking the one early, this I guess you could say is a hero running back approach.
I would say it's pretty hero, yeah.
Yep. And so taking the Achane at the turn and then waiting. And personally, I'm a big fan of the running back room that I was able to put together by waiting instead of going with Quentin Johnston.
I was going to say, this team is a Quentin Johnston away from being one of the best I've seen. But
if only.
That's why we're early. You're still learning. You'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah, sure. All right, you're up, Core.
Yeah, quarterbacks. Like I planned on going with the 2 QB build and then just, pick 200. Why not? Rodgers, hopefully he plays. And so then I'd love the quarterback room. It's got the floor with, and obviously Lions stack. So, and then the, potentially elite with Jalen Hurts. Love my running back room. There's definitely some volatile. This is a ceiling RB room, not a floor. Marion Hampton, I've been big on him. Breece Hall, I can't stop, but also he's so good. He's just stuck on a crap team. But Tootin, we talked about him earlier. And then you and I are Jalen Warren guys, and Rachaad White, Aaron Jones. I think it's a nice running back room, and it is. I set out to knock running back out as early as I could. And at times it was tough for me to take running back over receiver because I like to go heavy receiver, but I like that room. Very, very happy with how my Detroit build worked out, getting Goff, J-Mo, Amon-Ra, and Laporta. Love it. Really like my receiving room. Like Quentin Johnston, probably the pick of the draft. And Jauan Jennings and Debo we'll have to see where they land. I'll feel a lot better once I know that. But at that value, and then some nice dart throws. Kyle Williams, Tyquan Thornton, or Spike Week guys. Malik Washington is, you never know. I think he has promise. And then not the sexiest tight end room you'll ever see, but that'll play. With Cade Otton will sprinkle in the occasional good week. Same with Juwan Johnson. He'll be solid. And then Laporta with the Detroit build. Overall, I'm happy with this team.
Yeah, these were good drafts. I think all three of us put together really good teams. Only 2 of us can get tickets, so we will see who gets left behind. Yeah. All right, Chad, big fan of Quentin Johnston. Are we?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some people just recognize talent when they see it.
4 tickets. Never mind. We can all get tickets in this. I'm so used to the 2 tickets thing. No, that's right. I forgot that in these way too early. I did know that. I completely forgot it. Thank you, Chad. And he appreciates my Sharp steal earlier. Oh, yeah, me too. All right. Well, guys, this was super fun. Had a great time. Chad, thanks for being a big part of this chat and drafting
Appreciate
with us. For anyone else, looking forward to see you. Thanks for watching. We'll be back on Sunday afternoon. We'll let you know what time. Have a great night.
It could be Sunday morning. Sorry.
It could be morning / afternoon. Yep.
It's like a pop-up episode. It's fun.
That's right. But until our next episode, everyone, keep drafting. See you guys.